Hello, everyone, and I welcome you all to my session. And in this session, we are going to continue with the last part of the wonderful myth that we were doing, and it is a Greek myth, the story of Proserpine. So we were doing at that place where Ceres has returned home after the whole day's work, when she's the goddess of crops and grains and plants and trees. And she plays a very important role to make all the plants grow, and it is all because of her wandering here and there that cultivation is possible. So people get food to eat only because of the efforts and the wanderings of goddess Ceres. So at the end of the day, when Ceres has returned home and she wants to meet her daughter, that is Proserpine, and she calls for her, so she doesn't find her. And it was a tradition that Proserpine would come and meet her daughter, her mother, every evening. But that day, things were different, and Proserpine did not appear. So at that moment, Ceres became extremely anxious and she searched for her daughter in every room of the palace, and she couldn't find her. And then she keeps searching for her desperately here and there, but all her efforts go in vain, and she can't find her daughter. So when she lights a torch from the fire, the volcano, and she searches for her daughter the whole night, all over the valleys, the fields, and the forest, but still she can't find her. The whole night has gone completely useless. And then in the morning, she was tired and sad and heartbroken, but her daughter was not to be found anywhere. So now she was wandering here and there, very sad and very tired, and she was totally broken. And days passed as she sat at one place and she cried, or she wandered from here to from one place to another, looking for her. She looked extremely tired. She looked extremely heartbroken. And everyone could observe that even the earth breathed with the grief and pain of her mother. She was a mother, she was a goddess, but then she was a mother. And it seemed that all the plants and trees and the entire earth was crying along with Ceres. Everyone could notice that. So after the whole toil of the whole labor, Proserpine was Now, what happened when Ceres stopped playing her role? So, what happened when Ceres became extremely heartbroken and sad, and she did not care for anyone now? She was only wandering here and there for the daughter, and the only thing that mattered to her was how to get Proserpine back into her life. So what happened? What was the result of that? The result was extremely sad. So the earth had dried up. The earth's surface became dry and barren everywhere. The crops were drying up too. The plants were dying. So cultivation was not at all possible anywhere. So there was, at one point of time, there was surplus food, and there was plenty. There was plenty of food and crops and food grains. Farmers were happy, and so were the people. But now, what happened? Now, the stock of food was running out, and famine had broken out ultimately. So now people, people in large numbers, and farmers and peasants everywhere, they gathered and they started to discuss. They went to Ceres and they implored, they begged to continue her work. They begged her to, to roam over happily, over the plants and trees, so that cultivation was possible again. So that again, there was plenty and people, had enough food to eat. But Ceres was so sad and she was so weary. She was, she was so tired and roaming and wandering here and there to find her daughter that she said, "I am not going to do anything until I get my daughter back." So people could understand. People definitely understood the pain that Mother Ceres was going through. So people, all the farmers and all the people everywhere, people on earth, began to pray to Jupiter, who is the god of all gods. So, and in their prayers, they were, they asked him, they prayed, they requested him, they begged him to bring Proserpine back to her mother, Ceres, so that the goddess of crops and the goddess of plants and trees and food grains would again begin her job, and again plenty would return to the earth's surface, and people would be happy. So now the case was lying in the court of Jupiter, the king of the gods, the god of. Now Ceres, she began to wander again. So every day she would, go on the search for her daughter. So one day while wandering, she reached the beautiful town of Sicily, island of Sicily. And there she found something. What did she find? So one day when she was passing by the riverbank, remember the river shore where something was lying there. I think you remember that Proserpine had flung a girdle, that belt, a kind of belt that she was wearing. So she threw it on the bank of the river, the shore, so that just before the chariot plunged into the river's, to reach the underworld, just at the nick of the time, she had flung her girdle on the shore. And that was right. So while Ceres was, while she was walking on the bank of the river, something fell, something was lying at her feet. She bent to pick it up, and then she found it. She found the girdle, and she could identify it. She could understand that the girdle belonged to her loving daughter, Proserpine. So she was looking at it carefully again and again because it belonged to her loving daughter. And the tears filled her eyes and rolled down her cheeks. And then suddenly she seemed to hear a voice. And the voice was coming from a nearby fountain, a kind of waterfall that was falling down the mountain. And that voice grew clearer. Said to her, "Ceres, great mother of the earth, I am the nymph of the fountain. I live in the dark depths of the earth, and I have seen your daughter on a throne in the kingdom of Pluto. Her cheeks were pale and her eyes were heavy with weeping. Go to Jupiter and pray to him to send her back to you. Do not grieve anymore." So that help she got from the nymph of the fountain. With these words, the nymph seemed to leap towards the sun and the sky. Ceres now came to see Jupiter, goddess and the mother of God. She approached Jupiter, the king of the gods. So Jupiter, once she reached the court of Jupiter, she said, I have found the place where my daughter is. Please give her back to me, and I shall once more make the earth as fruitful, as green as ever as it was previously. Please give my daughter back to me. Jupiter was deeply moved by the mother's appeal and sorrow, and also by the prayers of the people and the farmers. He thought for a while and said, Proserpine may return to Earth if she has not tasted any fruit given to her by Pluto in the underworld, in Pluto's kingdom. Ceres quickly descended into the land of the dead, but alas, something wrong, something sad happened. Sad thing was that very day, that very day, that very unfortunate day, Pluto, had given something to Proserpine to eat, and Proserpine was actually starving. She had not eaten for all this while. She was crying for her mother too. She wanted to return back to the earth, back to her world, but owing to hunger and maybe she was forced by Pluto, the king of the dead. She had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds, and for every one of those seeds, she was destined each year to spend a month in the realm of the dead. Meaning she has eaten 6 seeds. So, by the law of the world, or by the law of, the law of Jupiter, or the law of nature, as she ate 6 seeds of the pomegranate, she has to spend 6 months in the underworld, and the rest of the 6 months she can spend the earth with her mother. 12 months in a calendar, 6 seeds equal to 6 months. 6 months in the underworld, the rest she can stay with her mother. So for every, after every 6 months, she would come back to her mother. And when she did so when she returned to the earth, when she returned from the underworld to live with her mother, at that time, spring arrived with the arrival of Proserpine. And flowers bloomed and new leaves appeared in the plants and trees, and there was greenery everywhere. There were different colors, whole lot of colors that you find in spring could be seen only in these 6 months, spring and summer. So, and when the time came for Proserpine to return back to the underworld, to join Pluto over there, so the whole world would be feeling sad, and the plants and trees and crops. So as Proserpine grieved for her daughter, as Proserpine felt, as Ceres, the mother, the goddess, as Ceres grieved for her daughter Proserpine, the entire earth again became dry and barren, and flowers dried up, and the green leaves turned brown, and they fell on the ground. They became dead and withered. So when Proserpine was on earth, spring returned and everything was happy and cheerful. And when Proserpine, after 6 months, when she returned back to Pluto in the underworld, everyone felt sad because the mother was sad, Ceres was sad, the entire earth was grieving for Proserpine. So that was the story of Proserpine, Pluto, Ceres. So, and even the flowers would hide underground, and the leaves did not want to come up in the trees. So everyone was feeling sad, including the flowers and leaves and the trees, and definitely the mother singing. So this is really a bit, quite a touching story about mother and daughter, the love that is there, the special bonding that is there between the mother and the daughter. There's nothing new in it. It existed so many years back, even in the ancient Greek civilization. It existed between, it existed in the midst of people long back. It existed a few years back. It exists now, and it will remain to be there between mothers and daughters for time to come in the future. So happy, lots of love to all the mothers, and same to the daughters. Please, daughters, do love your mothers, and mothers will always love their daughters. Okay, having said that, bye, and take a look at the slides in the end. Bye, and if possible, do share this